Hello again, Mercedes fans. A while back I reviewed this UCC coffee promotional item. This came free to some lucky people in Japan that bought 2 cans of UCC coffee, and it's actually a pretty cool model considering. It doesn't have an interior, that would be its major drawback, but everything else is pretty nice. But I was at a local not a trade show, local diecast thing, and I picked up the Kyosho version of this, so we're going to compare the two. No original packaging, not even a card, but I'm assuming Kyosho put out a silver one, and possibly white would be the third colorway if I had to guess, but I don't know. Alright, so we're going to compare these two. Granted, it's not the most even comparison, a free item versus a paid item. So I'm not going to talk about this car too much because I probably talked about it back in that UCC coffee review. So let's compare to these photos. Interesting. I'm just looking at this vent there on the lower side. Is that dust? Never mind, there's some dust there. Okay, let's try the side view. Well, not the same wheels that I pulled up in the photograph. The first photo seemed to have the same wheels, but these latter photos, no. Alrighty, and there's gull wing. It's not a metallic black, it's just a what appears to be a normal black, but hold on one second. Just figure I'd get all these smudges out of here, although they'll probably just come back immediately. Alright, well, so the wheels are nicely molded. There's just lug nut details, you know, air passing between even the little section of the spokes. Sadly, it seems like there might be a piece of plastic missing or paint missing. And then the tires have some curvature, like they're ballooning. And then we have a texture here in the side vent, which is nice. I think it actually might be plastic. It feels like plastic. It actually has the 6.3 engine liter printing there. And also some silver for those characteristic streaks. There's the door handle. And then the fuel filler is just painted silver. And I feel like it's cut off. I don't know, that might be on purpose because I can feel a straight edge there. It's weird. I don't know, I would expect it to be totally round. Alright, let's go to the front of this guy. Nice texture here. This is a plastic grille. It's got nice silver printing on it. And then these vents here, just all black, part of the casting. The headlights look nice, clear lenses, and then looks like, you know, there's a projector behind there. This Mercedes badge is okay. It's not really a full circle though, and it's not centered correctly either. It's a little bit to the right. It's more oval. Alright, but at least the blue and silver is there. It's not just a silver dot. Alright, so top vents here. There's some texture and silver paint again. Sounds like plastic. Raised wiper blades, and the blackout is printed nicely. The mirrors, although they're casted in, they're pretty nice. They're not just like casted straight into the A-pillar, so Kyosho's pretty decent with those mirrors. This side of the car, no major problems that I can see. I think there might be rust or something on those axles. And then the taillights look good because they're transparent, unlike the UCC. And they actually look like they have the white and the red stripes there. There's some silver on the exhaust tips. And this one's nicer than that paint application there. Ribbing here, that's metal. And then some printing here. No license plate. AMG, SLS looks good. That badge looks alright. A little pop-up wing. You can see the faint outline of the cutouts. The body panels, that is. And then the interior. And there's a third brake light here. So, yeah, the interior is probably nicely molded, but being black, it's pretty hard to see. Alright, yeah, there you go. A little stick shift. Center console's got some buttons and stuff. Seats, some ribbing detail. Yeah, bolsters, all that stuff. Not bad. Even the A-pillars, I mean the door panels, I mean, they probably have some armrests or something, but the windows are so distorted it's hard to tell. Alright, well, let's back out, compare it to this UCC coffee thing. So the first thing with the UCC, besides the fact that it has totally blacked out windows with no interior, is the taillights. They're painted. So they're painted nicely, you know, but I kind of feel like Kyosho's just a little bit better because they're actually transparent. Otherwise the badging is all pretty similar, looks pretty good. I actually feel the UCC did a better job with the exhaust tips. You know, they're painted better, but they're actually taller. And I'm looking at that rear photograph. I have a suspicion that these might be more accurate. It's a tough call. Maybe not. Maybe somewhere in between the two. These are much more shallow. But I do think that this shape here should be bigger on the UCC. And maybe Kyosho's got that shape correct. Alright. So these both have these double 5-spoke wheels. Spot where I could focus in between the two. I guess right there. Well, then you can't see the wheels of this guy. I don't see anything majorly different. They both have lug nut details. I almost feel like the UCC is tighter as far as its detailing goes. Like the lug nuts here are spaced much closer, and the circles I think might be a little bit tinier than the circles for the lug nuts on the Kyosho. But the UCC tires are really slab-sided, like flat, whereas the Kyosho has a little bit of a doming to it, so it's like there's air filling up tubes, right? Or well, a tire, not tubes. The UCC also has a much better gas cap. Let me just zoom in on the UCC gas cap. There's actually molded details going on. You know, there's like a twist for their fingers to grab, whereas the Kyosho is just flat. You know, there's actually molded details on the UCC. The UCC also has the 6.3 here and texture in there. So going to the front. Well, the Kyosho's grill is much crisper as far as its paint app goes. They both have textured grills though. The UCC also has textures in the lower vents, where the Kyosho I don't think has those. The headlights, I almost think the UCC's better. You know, there's just, I can see more molded detail back there. And then the badge on this, the blue badge is centered better. It's less circular, not oval. The top vents, they both have texture, but the Kyosho has separate plastic pieces. So that's more work there. Alright. They both have third brake lights. Okay. So they're actually quite, I think they're both good. Naturally, the Kyosho is better in the fact that it actually has an interior. Right, so the bottom of the Kyosho is also highly detailed, although it is press fit together. And it also has really nice treads. I mean, these look like modern, they look like real tires, right? And from the side, they don't look like they're truck tires. So Kyosho has some of the best tires in 164. The UCC is just running slicks, but it actually has a lot of detail on the bottom. And it's still screwed together, so you can, although, well, for wheel swaps, that's really nice, right? But these wheels are so nice that I wouldn't bother swapping them. But the Kyosho being press fit, you'd have to drill it apart if you want to repaint the interior You could swap out the wheels, just prying the wheels off though. Alright, so that's the comparison. If you're on the fence about which brand to get, I kind of feel like the Kyosho is the better one overall, but I think the UCC, if you can get it for a lot less money and you're not totally in love with this car, I think it's a pretty darn good option. So the internet says this is the spiritual successor to the 300 SL because of its overall proportions and the gull-wing doors. So this is also a UCC Coffee 300 SL, and I actually feel that's better than the Shuko version because of its riding stance. The Shuko is really high in its riding stance. It doesn't look right to me. This is also supposed to be the spiritual successor. Hold on here, I gotta get rid of, well, I'll move that, to the McLaren SLR. And this is by Mini Champs, and it's quite good. Alright, I'm going to throw up a modern brand. This is Power 64, and this is the AMG GT63S. And I went and repainted the interior of this because it's a screwed together base. So you can just see how massive this thing is, even compared to, well, it is a 4-door, so that's partially it, but I don't know, it's just a giant car because cars have become so big in general for all the extra safety and technology put into them. Yeah, that's a huge vehicle. I mean, these are pretty big 2-doors. I mean, they have V12 engines in them, so, but yeah, that's just huge. Anyways, partially like one of the reasons why I like scale models is to compare the you know, advancements or sizes of vehicles over time. I find it quite interesting. Let me drop my solar display, but it didn't seem to break, so what am I doing here? Let's get this thing spinning on its own. All in all, it's another nice Kyosho. Pleasantly, there's no paint rash. That's a really common problem with Kyoshos. But this one is pretty good. The only thing really wrong is maybe that blue and silver badge on the front isn't perfect. But everything else, well, the one exhaust tip wasn't great either, but these were not expensive models when they're new, so I take that into account in my overall feelings for the model. So, I appreciate you guys checking this out, and I'll see you the next time we talk about a Kyosho. Bye now.